Well, tell us what your overall impression there. You've seen the AAES since the beginning. Maybe talk a little bit about your role when it was formed.
Well, I mean, things are changing so quickly. You know, I do know how to work my iPhone now. You know, but they make fun of some of those older guys. But you got to remember, you know, we went to the moon. That was in the '60s, so we did have some science in those days. But I say that jokingly because I had a 4-year tour, not 3, because they couldn't find somebody to take the job again. I think as the Secretary of Treasurer and the Recorder. In those days, this was right after Jack had. In the first couple of years, we didn't really publish the papers in surgery, but in those days, the abstracts had to be sent in. It was just by the U.S. mail. It was always hard. Canada sometimes took weeks to get stuff. I remember that. So to do all of the review of those abstracts and get the information back, and then to put the books together, print them there, right in Milwaukee. I mean, when you compare what we're doing now with computers and email, there's no paper. You used to have to bring 2 suitcases to the meeting to carry the manuscripts back, and it was always a battle with the editors of surgery, but we always made it. And I think it was important. That was one of the most important things as far as this organization, because it showed our science, and I think it really did advance the scientific aspects of endocrine surgery as well as the art of surgery with our people getting together. And it was a Peril Granberg, a Swedish surgeon. There was the one guy who labeled us as the, quote, friendly surgeons, quote, because it seemed like the endocrine surgeons could get along, and they really did have fun, and I think they're still doing that. But it's amazing, 500 people out there in that room, and hardly anybody would get up and walk out in the hall. We started with 100 people. Norm Thompson, Orlo, and Jack Monchak, and Ed Kaplan. But Norm sent out a letter to 100 people in the United States that he thought were general surgeons with a special interest in endocrine surgery to get this organization started. And we stayed at 100 members, and a little bit more, 100, 150 for about a decade. You know, it was a small net group, but everybody got along and exchanged information, and most important, they exchanged their residents and students, and I think all of the leaders that we've had, and the past presidents that we've had in the last decade or two, I can remember them as residents presenting papers here. So it's really been fun to see them grow up and become leaders.